I want to talk about energy. Even if you set aside the fact that using fossil fuels for energy directly contributes to climate change, which directly is a threat to human life. I keep hearing these arguments that, like, oh, we can't switch away from fossil fuels. They're too foundational to America. There's too much infrastructure. There's too many jobs they support. Fossil fuels, by definition, are a non renewable energy source, which means we are going to run out of it. We have about 60 years left based on known oil reserves until we run out. Finding new oil reserves has sharply declined in the last few years. Maybe, if we're lucky, we have 100 years. So the question isn't, do you want to transition away from fossil fuels? The question is, when do you want to? Because we can either do it now when we have some time, or we can do it in 100 years when we are out of time and we're forced to. Not to mention, how many wars do you think we're going to fight in the 10, 20, 30 years leading up to the end of oil? How expensive do you think our energy is going to get in those last few years? Shouldn't we want to invest in a technology that provides us energy and we don't have to rely on global conflicts like Russia invading Ukraine, dictating the cost of our energy, or global supply chain like a ship getting lodged in the Panama Canal, not letting ships through, which means it's harder for us to get our energy? In every way, it's a bad investment. And it's not the technology of the future because it's going to run out. I hear arguments that we should do nuclear because nuclear is clean and it's an abundant energy source. But what you're not understanding is that nuclear energy is also not renewable. We have, if we're lucky, maybe 100 years, call it 200 years of nuclear energy where we pull resources out of the earth and then we have to get them from where they are extracted to our power plants where we create energy, which we then have to get from there to the homes and businesses or whatever that are using them. I'm going to rely on the decentralized energy where I can produce energy in the same place I can use it. My argument is we're going to run out of fossil fuels. And if we switch to nuclear, we're also going to run out of those. So it's kicking the can down the road. There's literally a giant ball of energy spewing energy out at a rate faster than we can use it. And it's never going to run out as long as humanity is alive. Maybe in a couple billion years, the sun will die. We have wind moving all the time. We have thermal energy coming up from the earth that we have figured out how to harness. We can produce the energy we need in the whole world with renewable energy resources. We just have to transition some infrastructure. If you care about jobs, shouldn't you care about the thing that's going to give us jobs forever? Why are we so obsessed with being reliant on limited resources like oil and natural gas or uranium and other nuclear fuels that we can pull out of the earth when we have abundant energy sources literally surrounding us? It's not rocket science, but it is propaganda science.